Austen of Stellar Edge Studios wants to know how to get rid of these little underlines. So Austen has made a unordered list navigation menu, and he's using images. These are different images here as his text. And he sees these little underlines and he wants to get rid of them. So first off, let's look at his code. By viewing the source, we see he has the style sheet embedded directly up in the head. And here is his navigation. This UL corresponds to this list here. So he has applied some CSS to make this list laid out as if it's in line here. And then within that, he's got the list items, and then he's got an anchor tag wrapped around the images, each of these images. So right away, I see a little syntax error here. He forgot to put the closing caret on this image, but that's actually not what's causing it, I think. A faster way to tell what's going on would be to use our DOM inspector. I'm in Chrome, so this is pretty easy to go through the DOM inspector. I'm going to scroll this so that we can just see the important parts. So here's the entire UL. Here's the individual list items, one here, one here. We see it's not quite consistent. There's some syntax errors in here. But if we just focus on this first one, we can see where that little underlining is right there. Maybe if I zoom in, it'll be more clear. It's zooming this instead of the page. So let's zoom the page in and then look directly at that. So I'm hovering over the LI, and you can see that that underline is part of this LI. So let's go down to the anchor. We can still see that the underline is part of the anchor, but it's not part of the image. So right away we know the problem is between the image and the end of this anchor. So the trick here is that anchors are usually meant to be for text, and so because he's using an image, it's a little mixed up, and it's underlining the text, the white space. So the way that white space works in HTML is any white spaces more than one are collapsed into one. So if you have, let's look at his source again. Here's his first list item right here. Actually, let's zoom this down so it's a little bit clearer. So he's got in this anchor a line break after this, and then some tabs and maybe some spaces, and all of those the browser will collapse into one space, even though he's got a lot. And that one space is what's showing up right there. So he has a couple of options. He could fix this by getting rid of all the white space, or he can do something crazy like put like a comment that starts here and ends here. If you don't know what a comment is, we'll get to that later, to eliminate the white space. But another option he has is we could just make the spaces that got in there not be underlined. And the way to do that would be to create a rule for these anchors. And it looks like he's already got a rule here for all anchors. And add a new one. And if you look at our cheat sheet, I've already brought this down here. The very last thing I show is text decoration none. The result is the text has no formatting, even if it's a link, right? So if you want to have a link not have any formatting, not even underlining, then you can do text decoration none. And you see those little underlines disappear. So Austen can go ahead and get this and add it to his CSS. It looks like he has just a general thing for all anchors. So he may want to make a new one and create something that just applies to this txt pst anchors. So the way he would do that would be, I'm actually going to create it right here. Something like .txt pst, that's the class, and then the space indicates that the next thing is inside of that A. So this selector will grab all anchors that are inside of a class, something that has this class, and then text decoration none. Now this CSS, if he were to go ahead and take this and save it into his code, would get rid of those little underlines here, but not anywhere else.